I've lived in this apartment building for 3 years, and until last month I thought I knew every creak and groan this place made. You get used to the sound of pipes rattling, neighbors slamming doors, and the occasional drunk argument echoing down the hall. But what I heard that night, it wasn't the building. It was coming from apartment 3B. 3B had been empty for months. The last tenant, an old woman named Mrs. Harlow, died quietly in her sleeper, at least that's what the landlord told us. Nobody wanted the unit after that. People said they'd seen strange shadows through the frosted glass window, even though it was supposed to be vacant. I chalked it up to rumors. Until that night. Yep. It was a Tuesday, almost midnight, and I couldn't sleep. I was scrolling through my phone when I heard it, a slow, wet dragging sound, like someone was pulling something heavy across the hallway outside my door. I froze. My apartment is directly across from 3B, and the sound stopped right at that door. I crept over, peeking through my peephole. The hallway was empty. The motion sensor lights flickered once, then went out. That's when I heard whispering. It was low, almost like a prayer, coming from behind 3B's door. I pressed my ear closer, and my heart started pounding when I realized the voice was right. It didn't sound like one person. It was like 5 or 6 voices, all whispering in unison, breathing words I couldn't understand. Then they stopped, and something tapped 3 times on the inside of the door. Yep. I jumped back. My hand was already on my phone, ready to call the landlord or the police, but I didn't, because I thought I heard someone say my name. Very clearly. I barely slept that night. Yep. The next day I asked around. None of my neighbors had heard anything. The landlord just shook his head and said, "That place is locked tight, been empty since the old lady died." I almost believed him until I noticed deep, dark scratches on the wooden floor right outside 3B. They looked fresh. Yep. I tried to ignore it, but over the next few nights the sounds got louder, scraping, whispers, a strange smell like damp earth and rot seeping into the hallway. On the 5th night, I heard my front door handle jiggle. I didn't move. I just lay in bed holding my breath while something scratched gently at my door. It felt like hours before it stopped. When I checked in the morning, there were fingerprints on the brass handle. Long, thin, and too many of them, like a child's hand with extra fingers. Yep. That was the night I decided to set up a camera. I aimed it straight at 3B's door, hit record, and tried to sleep. Sometime around 3 a.m. I woke up to silence. No whispers, no scraping, nothing. When I checked the footage the next morning, my stomach dropped. At exactly 2:47 a.m., the door to 3B opened by itself. Something crawled out. Yep. It wasn't a person. It moved wrong too low to the ground, its limbs bending backward like a spider's. Its skin was pale and stretched, and its head was too big. Its mouth hung open in a way that made me want to vomit. The thing paused in front of my door, staring directly at the camera, like it knew I'd be watching. Then it grinned and crawled back inside 3B, pulling the door shut behind it. Yep. I didn't go to work that day. I didn't even leave my apartment. I just sat there, staring at my front door, waiting for the sound of scratching to start again. Around noon, I got an email. No subject line, no sender, just a single sentence. "You should stop watching." I smashed my laptop screen with a mug. Yep. That night I left. I packed a bag, grabbed my car keys, and swore I'd never come back. But as I was walking down the hall, suitcase dragging behind me, I passed 3B. The door was wide open. The apartment was pitch black inside, except for a single pale hand resting on the floor, waiting. I ran. Yep. I'm writing this from a cheap motel 3 states away, but I don't think it matters. The last 2 nights, I've heard scratching on my motel door around 3 a.m. This morning, there were fingerprints on the handle. Too many of them.